Hi, I'm Isabel Vargas, and the work that we have here is Buddha sheltered by the Serpent King Muchalinda. This work is from Cambodia and was made in the 11th century during the Khmer Dynasty, and the Khmer Dynasty lasted from 802 to 1431 Common Era. This work is done in gray sandstone, and gray sandstone was a very common material to make these Buddhist sculptures during this time. And along with that, this work is done in the classical Ba Vuan style of Cambodia. Essentially, the Ba Vuan style just reiterated a lot of the sculptural language found in the Ba Vuan temple. Some of the key characteristics of the Ba Vuan style can be found here, like this ornamentation that you can see in the tail of the Naga, which is a snake or serpent creature, and which is King Muchalinda, and the hair and cranial protuberance of the Buddha. So in the tail, you can see the small incisions, ornate incisions that are supposed to represent the Naga's or King Muchalinda's scales. And here you have this small swirl incision that is supposed to represent the hair. And just as a side note here, this isn't a bun, it is a cranial protuberance, and it is supposed to show how smart or how wise the Buddha is. And it is also a way that people can differentiate the Buddha from bodhisattvas. And another key characteristic of the Ba Vuan style is the soft curvilinear body. This body is it's round, but it's not flabby, it's elegant. And another characteristic is the Buddha's soft smile. Along with that, the Buddha is in a Cambodian variant of the traditional Indian meditation posture. He has one leg over the other, but not crossed at the ankles, and he has his hands sitting on his lap in meditation. And this posture is in reference to the Dhyana Mudra, or the gesture of meditation. And this goes hand in hand with the narrative that's being depicted here. So the narrative that's being depicted here is the time that Buddha meditated under a Bodhi tree for 7 weeks, and the Bodhi tree is actually now a sacred site in Bodhi Gaya, Bihar, India, but it is actually it was just a fig tree. And so he sat under this tree in meditation for 7 weeks after enlightenment, and during this time he was vulnerable to the elements. So one of those elements being torrential rain. So in order to protect him, the Serpent King Muchalinda would coil himself under the Buddha, like you can see here, and would come over behind him. It's missing now and it was lost over time, but if it were here, you would see the Serpent King Muchalinda coming over the Buddha like a hood. Some even say it was like a parasol, or some compare it to a halo, but it would be this hood of multiple serpent heads. And snakes have many connotations in Buddhism, one of those being rebirth due to the skin shedding process that it goes through. But here the serpent has the symbolic connotations of the guardian or protector, because he is protecting Buddha in this instance. Moreover, this sculpture emphasizes the Naga or serpent creature's role as the guardian or the protector. Although the iconography in this piece has its origins in India, this imagery was very popular in Cambodia and can attest to Cambodian ideas of kingship. I mean, royals would use snake imagery they would use it on their sites as a way to protect or look over their sites. And just like, lions are sometimes used as guardians, here the snake is the guardian. And the fact that royals were using snakes on their site can show how they would use Buddhist imagery as a way to maybe equate themselves to certain religious figures or assert their power. So I hope you all enjoyed that. This is Buddha sheltered by the Serpent King Muchalinda from the 11th century Khmer Dynasty. I'm Isabel Vargas. Bye!